on my personal page. So we are live right now. So
Great.
I'm excited, guys, to finally jump on here. It's been like about a month since I've jumped live in my business page. Obviously, there's been a lot going on in the world, and I needed to take a break. I think a lot of us have to take breaks with what's going on and just kind of step away for a little bit. And for me, I'm so grateful for that time. And during that time, the last 4 weeks or so, I've had an opportunity to really dig deeper into self-care. And on a mental health aspect, on a physical aspect, emotional aspect. And I feel I've been hearing this from a lot of people. And so this is kind of why I wanted to kind of partner with Shayla tonight. And we're going to be jumping into a little bit of education and also kind of a preview of a little class we're going to be giving in a week or so, right? I think it's July 7th. And so we wanted to jump on here to kind of give you guys an opportunity to ask questions and maybe even, boost your curiosity on oils in general. I know that many of us have heard of oils, and I'm sure that you probably have. Maybe you've already been using it in your life. But I wanted to kind of pick Shayla's brain because she's been now 2 years or more.
It'll be 3 next month actually. So and living the lifestyle and doing the business for just under 3 years as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So and for me, I think it's been about a year or so since I started using oils in my life, and I've always felt like I always knew that they have power and definitely an ability to help us physically and mentally. But I guess like everyone else, we always think like, that doesn't work. I believe in medications. I believe in pushing medications, and as a nurse, I understand that kind of mentality that only medications can help you with, just general things that we can go through on a daily basis. So I wanted to kind of chat a little bit about Shayla and her journey in using oils, and then I'll share a little bit of why I started. And then we can answer some questions for any of you who are looking to join our class next week, which is absolutely free. So Shayla, if you want to introduce yourself and kind of share with us what you do.
Great. Yeah. Thank you, Natalie. So again, my name is Sheilla Parkerson, and I have been a doTERRA wellness advocate for just about 3 years, coming up on 3 years. I'm a fitness professional and exercise physiologist. That's my first passion was exercise. And so I've always been really aware of my health and making sure that I keep myself healthy and teaching those same types of principles down to my children. Now, oils entered my life just because I hosted a class. Honestly, I knew really very little about essential oils before coming to this class. However, at that time, I had very severe respiratory issues going on with my health. I was 8 months suffering from a real bad infection in my lungs. And I wasn't able to really get any better, even though I was working with my primary care physician for those 8 months. He had me on inhalers. He had me on nebulizer treatments. Now, if you can imagine, as a fitness professional, that was really hard because I didn't have enough breath to teach my classes. Even though I was still teaching my fitness classes, I had to rely on inhalers to really have, even the breath I needed. And then also, my little one. Sorry, this is real life.
Yeah, it totally is. I have someone in the background too, so no worries.
Anyway, after working with him for 8 months and not getting any better, I started using the essential oils to help with my health and with my respiratory health specifically. And I have to say that it was the Breathe respiratory blend that really, really strengthened my lungs and got me over the hump of that infection. So that was like my first big aha. Now there's a lot of other things we use oils for. Really, at this point, we use oils for just about everything. We go to our oil box first, always. Yeah. And then if, of course we have other medication, we have like over the counter stuff that's in our medicine cabinet, whatever, but like we always go to our oils first. And And 9 times out of 10, we take care of whatever we need to take care of. So I will tell you though that, essential oils have become sort of this like buzzword. Everybody kind of sort of knows about them. They've heard something about them. But not every oil is created equal. And this is why these intro classes are so important, because there you learn the difference between a medicinal grade, certified therapeutic grade oil and perfume, which is what a lot, what's out there in the market. If you go to any big store and you buy an essential oil, you really are just getting perfume. Because yeah, exactly. Because one of the main things is like only about 12% of the actual essential oil needs to be in the little bottle for a company to be able to label it 100% pure, which is crazy, because then what else is in the bottle, right? So a company like doTERRA ensures that it's nothing but 100% pure therapeutic medicinal grade oil. And we are the most trusted and tested essential oil company in the whole entire world at this time. So, I don't mess around with what I'm going to put on my kids and what I put on myself. As somebody who has respiratory and, year-round allergies, I have to be careful with what I'm, putting into my air and what I'm cleaning my house with and things that touch my skin, all of that. So the oils have been instrumental in making sure that I'm taking care of my health, my children's health, supporting my husband's emotional health, and it's been awesome, or really, really has been awesome. But just remember, I like to give this example. You've got like Aunt Jemima, and you've got maple syrup, right?
Yes, oh my gosh.
Yeah, two completely different things. Like they're not made the same way. They're not processed. I mean, they don't have the same nutritional value. So that's one of the best, especially being from New England and the fact that we get so much awesome maple syrup out in this area. I like to give that example as a comparison, because that's exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about perfume versus medicine. And so I just want that to be really clear.
Yeah, huge. I know. And that's the argument, I guess, that a lot of people use as to, I can just get that at CVS or Amazon, and that's okay. It just depends also, like, what are you actually using it for, right? Like, I guess, like you said, if you're using it for perfume just to spray on your mattress, for lavender and it smells nice, great. But for actual, like you said, I got into this because of, my daughter also having respiratory issues. And I am so totally for going holistically as much as you can first, and then getting medical support second. And I know not everybody agrees with that. There's a lot of docs that don't agree with that. But I wanted to, look at all my options. And I'm glad that you shared that, because as soon as you had told me, oh, look, there's other, things that your daughter can use, that I was totally willing to listen. And so since then, I started with like a little mini packet. And then since then, I've just kind of grown my oil collection and starting to use it for other things beyond just allergies, and also, again, for my daughter also has asthma. So it's been super helpful for her. And now for myself, like, I know for me, peppermint, I never understood like the power of it and giving you energy. And there's just days where I don't have any energy, and I'm just like, oh, let me get my peppermint, and it'll like wake me up. And so I do definitely need to get more diffusers though, to have one in each room so I can have different things that I need. But yeah, so what would you say would be like a good way for someone to be introduced? Because I know next week we're going to jump into a class. Can you talk a little bit more about what you're going to focus on for this like introductory class on oils, and what should people expect?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So in an intro class, we talk about the difference between a medicinal grade oil and other oils in greater detail. We talk about the 3 really cool things about doTERRA essential oils and what makes them so special. We also talk about, once you have a medicinal grade oil, the three ways that you can safely use those oils, and we dive deeply into using them, aromatically, topically, and also internally. So we talk about that for a time. I will also highlight specific oils for some common ailments, some common things that people deal with. So we'll touch on things like, sleep and emotional stability and immune support, because who doesn't need immune support right now in the world with what's going on with this pandemic? So, we'll dive into oils that help to just boost and keep your immune support, your immune system healthy and active. So we talk about that, the three cool things about essential oils, the three ways that you can use essential oils, and then we will go into the three ways that you can purchase, like how you actually can get connected to the products. Of course, with no obligation to buy, but it's my job to provide that information because I want everybody to have oils, of course. So I'll talk about that as well, and then answer any other questions that people have. So we'll leave a good amount of time for Q&A, and that's basically what people can expect from next next Tuesday. The 7th.
Oh yeah, the 7th, whichever day that falls under.
The 7th, and so it's 7/7 at 7. You picked it.
There you go. I didn't even think about that.
I thought that the other day. I'm like, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect. I love it. I'm so excited because, like I said, as a health and wellness coach, I try to teach people to take care of themselves inside out. And I also believe that the quality of what you put into your body is what you get out of it. And that's kind of why I've chosen the supplements that I drink, the, vitamins and minerals and all those things matter. After getting all the knowledge and education on where ingredients come from, I just can't grab and over-the-counter stuff anymore, because I understand the bioavailability, the absorption, the temperatures that things are made in, like all those things matter. And I'm such a nerd when it comes to that stuff. So, if any of you guys have ever wondered, like, why use oils and how they can impact your health, I'm sure Shayla will give us the privilege of sharing some other stories in her family.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely do some testimonial sharing. And also the other thing that can come from this is, we can talk about putting the different people that come to the class on an actual oils regimen. So based on whatever they come to the class with, say they have some emotional stress or whatever that they're dealing with, or there's something going on in their health, they can't sleep, whatever it may be, I can help put together a little protocol that's specific to that person to help them with those things that they're dealing with so that they can aid their health and feel better.
I love that. It's a kind of like, I don't want to say the word, but you're giving them a strategy. I don't want to say treatment, but strategies to combat whatever we are going through physically or mentally. Yes. And that's super important. And I know, especially for women, if you can give us maybe an example of maybe somebody, how it's helped them with a specific issue they had, and what kind of oils did you share with them that helped them get relief?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's somebody that I know, I'll just leave her name out of it because I didn't ask her for permission if I could share this particular story, but she had really chronic joint pain and inflammation. And not only that, but she had really difficult gastrointestinal stuff that she was taking. She was on 11 prescription medications when she came into the oils lifestyle. And she got herself a basic starter kit of oils. We met for a consultation. We talked about different things that she could do, including supplementation, as well as oils that she could use to help her life. And she has gotten off 8 of those prescription medications now. And, again, I am so glad that we have modern day medicine. I'm not trying to say that it's all bad or anything like that. But, my father's alive as a type 1 diabetic because of insulin, I can't knock that. I'm alive because I did have inhalers to support my asthma throughout the course of my life. So, don't get me wrong. However, the fact that this woman was able to get off that many medications and the way she feels now, like she's she's like, I can't even tell you. She's like, it was so meant to be the day you met me. Like, it's very rewarding when you really can help somebody. So that's like a big example. But, on a smaller scale, I've got moms whose children have had, XYZ ailment, and they've been able to help their child with those things. And that's amazing. Or husbands that struggle with things or whatever it is. At this point, I have quite a few people that I have big stories and as well as little stories that I could share. So,
and I do want to say this because when I started a year ago, I got the starter kit, right? And I'm going to be real honest because I feel like sometimes we have a hard time as women doing things for ourselves, right? And so when I started the kit, I was like, I'm going to try it. But, I didn't go all in. Like, and I know this happens a lot with people that start on their health and wellness, like workouts and nutrition. They don't go all in, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't until my daughter went through a very scary experience where she ended up in the hospital. I was terrified. She was on a albuterol machine and she getting treatment, that I was like, oh my gosh, I need to take this more seriously. And, it wasn't until my child was in greater need that I started to adapt it more consistently in our lives. And so I feel like sometimes, I don't know why that's the case. Like, why is it that as mothers, we don't take our own health as seriously as our child's? Isn't that crazy? And I know you have testimonials, and I hope you guys join us for our class next week because Shayla has incredible testimonials about her children and using the oils. And it's incredible to see how a whole family can be impacted and taken care of. So it's not just about the quick fix. It's not about like an overnight solution. It's really a lifestyle, and that's what we want to bring to you guys. It's the workouts, it's the nutrition, it's the taking care of yourself with these types of ingredients and oils in your life. It really does make a difference in the long term. Again, this is not a quick fix, like anything. I never go for the quick fix because I know that in the long run, it's just gonna it's gonna give me more work. Yeah. And so I would rather learn and figure out the way to do it and figure out the habits and the routines I need to develop in order to make it consistently part of my life. So if you want to end it, Shayla, how have you been able to, again, you are a fitness instructor, so you kind of had discipline in your life already. Mm-hmm. But, for those people that struggle with discipline, what can you encourage them with when it comes to, living life more holistically, more naturally? What can they expect? Because I always love to incorporate motivation into any trainings I do, any, tactics and strategies. So is there anything that has helped you to become more disciplined in your own health?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the way I feel, number one, of course, but when you think about making changes in your life, I think, Natalie, you hit it like right on the head when you say that you can take little incremental steps toward bettering your health. In what I teach, basically, I go over what's called the wellness pyramid. So what this is that it all starts off with your diet and nutrition, right? That's the base of who we are. What we eat is what we become, right? So it starts there. Then it goes into exercise. Of course, you got to keep the body moving. You got to keep the machine moving, right? Then managing our stress and our sleep, because that is ever so important. If we are not managing our stress and our sleep, there's so much that can go wrong within our bodies. And then we move into reducing the toxic load that we have, that we take in every day. We don't even realize like how many toxins come in contact with our skin and we breathe in. So we talk about that. We talk about being informed to take better care of ourselves. So after I go over all of that, right, I also say just one thing. What's one thing that you can implement today, right? And if you just make a habit of that one thing, maybe it's just adding lemon to your water every day so that you can start your day off detoxing your blood and like cleansing from the inside out. You know, we all drink water over the course of the day. Why not just add a little drop of lemon in there, right? And so simple, simple things. For me, simplicity is key, right? As an exercise physiologist, I'll give you an example. As an exercise physiologist, as soon as I graduated from college and I got my first job, I was very much a book learner. So I knew if somebody came to me and said, I want to lose weight by X date and I want to, be at this size or whatever, I could go to the book and know exactly what to prescribe so that that person could get there. And when I first started, I did just that. And guess what happened to my clients? Little by little, they weren't coming back into the gym because the prescription I gave them was like going from the couch to like running a marathon. And they very quickly, it only took me a very short time to realize, hey, there's books, then there's real life, right?
Yes,
like reality of what people can actually do. So it's meeting people where they're at, figuring out what type of person you are, as far as, are you a very structured individual or are you somebody that really structures tough? And then meeting you where you are and giving you little tiny things that you can do that, like you said, over the course of a space of time, accumulate to a real amazing health benefit for you, right? So small, steady progress, day by day, sometimes hour by hour, sometimes it's a minute to minute type thing, depending on who we are. So not overwhelming ourselves, reducing toxic load, for example, was an area of my own health that I honestly was not paying attention to at all. To me, the bleach smell equated to a clean bathroom, and so I've had to train my nose and train my mind that it doesn't have to smell like bleach to be clean. And I can clean with On Guard and lemon and tea tree and water and vinegar, and my surfaces are just as disinfected without the toxins in the air. That took me a while. So little by little, incremental things that accumulate to just an overall, like you said, you didn't start head first. You started little by little, and it was kind of something that all of a sudden a crisis came into your life and you found the need to expand this a little bit further. So for some people, it requires to be, something like that. And for other people, simply it's just that they're tired of feeling like junk. Since I started this business, I realized everybody's got something that they're dealing with, and either they're medicated for it, or they're just simply dealing and not wanting to take anything for it, and suffering really. So there's empowerment in knowledge, right? We know this. And there's an even more empowerment in action with the knowledge that we acquire along the way. And even if it's just a little bit of action here and there every day. So
exactly. And I totally agree with you on baby steps, because that's how we can make the humongous changes in our life. And I think that's where most people are afraid of, is, where do I start? Where do I have all these lists of issues. Where do I start? So it's prioritizing. Which one is the one that's causing you the biggest pain right now? Is it the back pain? Is it the emotional well-being? Which one is it, the one that absolutely needs to be taken care of right now? Right. Exactly. I think that's what we need to look at it, is that, because we think we have to go all in, and I say that all the time, let's go all in. But when I say go all in, I mean like commit to change. I don't mean like, do everything at once. And I think that some people get scared of, because of my like personality of like, hoorah. And yes, I have that disciplinary mindset. But I have also learned, like, as a mother, it's not sustainable. So baby steps has always saved my life. And especially when I'm in the most chaotic, storm-driven moments, with kids, knowing that I did one thing for myself, like walk for 30 minutes, was enough for today.
Absolutely. Celebrating those things. The one thing too that I love as a mother is teaching my kids now to look to natural before they look to other sources. That's been really amazing. My little 10-year-old, she's like a little oil guru. She knows exactly what to do when things happen in her life. And that's awesome, just to teach my kids at a very early age that there's other ways to handle things, you know. But yeah, I love what you say about the small and incremental things. That's what it's all about, you know. So it starts off by come to the class and learn, and then come to the class with already in your mind maybe the top three health priorities that you have, whether they're for yourself or whether they're for someone you have influence over, like your children or your spouse or your mom who lives with you or whatever, like, you know, people that are within your circle of influence. Think about those things and come to the class sort of prepared and listening for tips and tricks and strategies that you can use to help with those specific things. So, you know, you started with a whole kit. You don't have to start with a whole kit. You could start with one oil. So, but we'll talk more about that too.
Yeah. So on July 7th at 7 p.m. is when we are going to be running our oil class. So for those of you that are interested, and this is kind of why I did this live, is because I wanted to just do an intro and a preview as to how we're going to dig a little bit deeper on the 7th, but also give you guys an opportunity to kind of meet Shayla and know who she is before you jump in. And know that we've partnered and are working together and educating more people on oils and how it can also be another tool in your toolbox, along with exercise, nutrition, and all the other wonderful things that, you know, we teach you in your mental health and physical health. So I'm excited. For those of you that are interested, you can message me directly. You can comment down below and I'll just send you the details. Again, it's a free class. You have no obligation to do anything. Simply just show up, be present, come with your questions. And I love that. Come with your top three priority, what do you call it? Not physical, I guess your ailments or
just health priorities.
Priorities that you may want to focus on, and come with those questions so that she can give you guys examples on how you can combat that with natural remedies. And if you don't have any actual health issues, and you just simply want to know how to go more natural in your home, that there's also things that you guys can use. And I love the example of the cleaning products, and going more natural in that way too. So I'm excited, you guys. If you guys again are interested, join us next week, where we'll be doing a private class. So it's not going to be live like we are now, but it'll be a class where we provide you guys. And I don't think, Shayla, would we be giving the sample oils after, possibly?
So certainly I can certainly do before or after. So at this point, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my goodness, I haven't been sleeping, I'd like to try a sample of that. Just reach out to Natalie and she'll let me know, and I can go ahead and mail you the sample. And hopefully we have a little bit of time. So if I mail them probably by Friday, you'll have them by the class on Tuesday, depending on where your geographical location. But if we don't catch you before the class, certainly, and you've heard some good stuff and you kind of want to try something, I'm more than happy to do some sampling after the class. Absolutely.
Perfect. Yes. All right, great. Well, thank you so much, Shayla, for joining me tonight, and
You're
for
welcome.
our listeners a preview of what to expect in a week or so. And I hope you guys have an amazing July 4th weekend, and I'll see you guys soon.
All right.
All right. Let me see here. Okay.